Hello, everyone, and welcome to a Division 12 quarterfinals match here in the Collegiate Chess League's Fall 2023 season. My name's Joe, and I am the commissioner of the Collegiate Chess League. This is North Dakota State versus University of Arizona's B team. Let's dive right into these games. We actually have North Dakota's captain here playing Kyle Neatfield, playing against Ram here from University of Arizona. This is actually North Dakota's board 3. Their captain, Kyle, is, and looks like he's in check right now. King C1 played, and now knight can come back out with check. So let's look at this slow motion replay here. Knight to E2, blocking the bishop. That allows the knight to come in. And the checks are annoying for sure, but what's the follow through? King B1, knight's going after this. Watch out for rook D1. You just got to save the rook here. We do have 4 games underway. This is round 1 of 4. So I'm a little late, I'm not going to lie. So I apologize for that. But good news is I am here now. So let's look at some of the other boards. I see we've got 2 1800s playing. And this 1800 is actually losing to Drunken Board. That might be Arizona's board 4. That would be a huge upset. So opposite color bishops, but 2 extra pawns. Watch out for back ranks. Low on time for Yeet Skeet. That is George. So definitely going to need a comeback here if he's to prove his 400 elo. Let's check in on Big Fun 2, another 1800. So North Dakota State, they have 2 1800s on the team. They're definitely the favorite. Let me take a quick glance at their bracket actually and see how we're doing. Who's coming from the top of the bracket and who is from the wild card. So it looks like North Dakota State won their group, and University of Arizona destroyed University of Ottawa 13.5 to 2.5 in the wild card match back on Saturday. So yeah, and both the top boards look like they're struggling on the clock from North Dakota, as well as maybe even the position. So Arizona's come to play. Their bottom boards are given the business to the top boards from North Dakota. Less than 10 seconds here for Big Fun 2. That's Ibrahim Bukhari. Even position, though, although the computer doesn't like that one. Ooh, that is a fork. Aman going to take down the board 2 from North Dakota. That's a rough start for North Dakota State. All right, yeah, White's just going to promote this pawn. Easy peasy. Let's check back in with the top board. Yeet, Skeet, Beat, Greet, George. Opposite color bishops still. We're going to be trading off these kingside pawns. This should be a draw. Opposite color bishops. Whoa. Holding on to this. That is quite the risky move here from Drunken Board, who is up a pawn. Oh boy. Oh lordy. That eval bar be swinging. Yeah, bishop now is in time to cover this. Black messed up. They could have promoted. Yeah, you see the bishop's covering that now. Close one there. Okay, so Aman thinks took down Big Fun. Let's check in. This is Dor. This is Arizona's top board. And they get the job done against Ahmad, 4th board from North Dakota State. Checking back in with Kyle. Kyle's doing well. So let's give a point to Dor. Let's also give a point to Aman Thinks. who took down George. No, George is still playing. George is going to lose, though. That's a queen, but there it goes. So hoping for some sort of stalemate. We saw back-to-back stalemates yesterday in Division 20, but this is Division 12. Let's see. White's going to be promoting here. So Kyle's going to get a point for North Dakota and stop the bleeding. Unless a stalemate. So let's see. This bishop's going to try to help George hold on here, but it's going to end poorly shortly. Yeah. Queen here next. Pre-moved. All right, so point for drunken board. Ram's going to flag. Yeah. All right, so a 3-1 lead for Arizona. Only point from North Dakota coming from their team captain, Kyle. 2-point lead. Arizona's going to try to hold on to that, but of course, North Dakota, they are the favorites, so they're going to try to wake up here in the next few rounds. Both top boards going down from North Dakota. Those are the 1800s. I was thinking maybe one 1800 was from one team, the other from the other, but no. Both 1800s from North Dakota, and they both lost in that first round. So we have round 2 now underway. We got some North Dakota State fans in the chat. You love to see it. Roll Herd. I've never heard that one, but I have heard Roll Tide. So I kind of get the idea. But now I know. Any Wildcat fans? So North Dakota State has Roll Herd. Arizona. Sorry, did I say Arizona State? No, I think I said North. So, okay, Roll Herd, but then University of Arizona, I know what they say. They say bear down. So, I see some Roll Herds in chat. Do we see any bear downs in chat? I see Colton in chat. So, Wildcats versus Herd? No. What are you guys, the Bison? I don't know. Anyways, round 2 underway. We've got all 4 games now. Yeah, we are streaming this on YouTube, actually. But it's on the CCL YouTube. Anyways. Time format is 5+2 blitz. All play all. Teams of 4. So it's a best of 16 games. First to 8.5 wins. If it's tied 8-8, you go to a 5th round tiebreak of 3+2. And if it's still tied, you go to double OT with 1+2. And you repeat the 1+2 time control until the tie is broken. So it could go for a while. We've had some triple OTs, quadruple OTs. We've had games, I think, with like 7 overtimes. I don't even know what the appropriate name for that is. Hello, Tagbon. Good to see you. The Bison. All right. Wildcat versus Bison here. And this is Arizona's B team, by the way. This is North Dakota's A team. I've never been to North Dakota, but I have been to Arizona. Arizona's a little bit closer to me. But you know, North Dakota, I'm sure, has some pretty nature. Arizona, though, they do have really pretty parks and nature as well. So I've seen it. But maybe I gotta see North Dakota. Maybe I'll go for their chess club. Maybe. I've been to Arizona State's chess club. Have not been to University of Arizona. So I'm not missing much. Dakota Collegiate RL. Is that Rocket League? Don't come. Okay. I'm not being pitched very well to the state of North Dakota. but I appreciate the advice. Wind and flat land. Well, maybe. I've never been. I want to go to like Wyoming. I want to go to Yellowstone. I know that's not really close to North Dakota, but you said wind, and I was thinking maybe. I don't know. Anyways, all right. Back to the chess commentary. North Dakota State, they're in a 2-point deficit. They're in a hole. So they got to climb their way back. They've got 3 rounds to do it, so plenty of chess left to be played. But University of Arizona is going to try to complete the comeback. Not the comeback, the upset. They had a very strong win on Saturday against University of Ottawa in the wild card. So yeah, and that also was technically an upset win. So Arizona looking to surprise some people, maybe bust some brackets. Arizona the bracket buster. I'm sure I probably had North Dakota State moving on. I should probably set up some command that takes you guys to the challenge brackets for the predictions, but anyhow, nonetheless, I'm sure I could look it up. Bad drivers. South Dakota's cool. Never been there either. Oil and young people. Nice. All right, so door top board from Arizona, getting the dub. This is the only match here with a winner versus a winner from the first round. So one of them will stay a winner, the other will go 50-50. Where do we bet on collegiate chess? That is a great question. If you find that out, let me know. Maybe you can bet in chat with the channel points. Okay. So light square bishops traded off. Yeah, open F file. Maybe the rook will go back and double for white. I'll start a prediction. Hey, Michigan Eagle, how's it going? All right, some pressure on d4. That is a pinned pawn. We could see this move e5. Oh, you're from Phoebe's channel. Thank you. Welcome. Hello. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Oh, we already have a result. Big fun too with the checkmate on board. A quick one. Holy smokes. Let's do a really quick recap here. Queen in. How'd this pawn get here? We have a Caro Khan gone poorly. Yeah, trading this off. Check. This guy is just cooked. This knight. I mean, look at this pawn structure from black. So, drunken board. We got a point in the first round. And yeah, even trapping the queen. Things went down quickly here for the Arizona player. So, big fun. Ibrahim getting some revenge. Just trading off that queen. Doesn't even want the queen. All right, so nice comeback there. Maybe comeback wasn't the right word, but a point for North Dakota State. So they're back within 1. 3 games remaining in this round. I'm good. Thanks for asking. Don't know what's going on, but dubs for North Dakota State. A tall variation. I gotta check that out. The Karo Khan tall variation. Okay. Um, what's going on in this one? White's just a bishop, so that's looking good. So top boards from North Dakota State, maybe a little sleepy in that first round. It is later for them than University of Arizona in terms of time zone. This is a rescheduled match, so they both agreed to this time. So maybe feeling ashamed of their performance, these top boards coming to life here in round 2 for the herd. For the Bison. All right. This one should be a win. Let's check in on team captain here with the black pieces against top board Dordor. So Dordor with a win. Can Kyle stop him? Dordor technically higher rated. Maybe I should call Dordor by his real name. Or is it a girl? Dorsa. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Colton in chat can confirm or deny. Getting up before noon for esports. Listen, I know Rocket League is definitely an esport, but chess runs a little differently. I mean, like from what I've learned working with Nace is that the esports matches are typically on weekdays, like late at night. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know if chess could operate like that. We've got all of our matches are on weekends on Saturdays, so maybe North Dakota State purposely rescheduling to make the match feel more like an esports matchup. Do you guys have an esports facility? Because that'd be really cool if you guys could play from there. You play car soccer. Okay, so basically, instead of getting goals, you get checkmates. All right, so instead of a 5-minute timer, I could actually they both have 5-minute timer. We haven't looked at this board yet. So I know in car soccer, you guys typically have 3 players on a team. This is 4 players to a team. So there's that. Okay, White's doing well here. This bishop looks annoying, but it's actually trapped. It can't get out of here. And White simply has a rook for the bishop. The second rook has come over. This rook looks like it's going to try to enter the equation somehow, but unfortunately, you don't really want to lift the rook off the back rank because this check is going to be quite annoying and devastating, luring this king out to probably some sort of mate. Here we see the rook attacks the queen, but this actually frees up some space for the bishop if the bishop ever were to leave. But okay, here's one check. 2 checks. I like this. That forces the rook off the board. Queen's going to take back king here. So if White wanted to, they could force a perpetual, but they don't really want to because they're winning. I feel like f4 is a really nice idea to trap the bishop. If bishop takes, then this queen check would win it back. So we see the queen check first. You could still play f4 here, and you're going to be picking up this bishop next. So White's low on time now. They're both low on time. White finds it. And we do have some results, actually. So Ibrahim won. Kyle won. So that's 2 points. Actually, did I already give Ibrahim his point? Let's give Kyle his second point. We have resigns here. So, yeah, a queen check, unfortunately. I mean, honestly, when you're losing, that's not the worst idea. So point for Ram. That is a point, their first point, actually, after losing to Kyle. And then Yeats, George gets a point. So it's all tied up now after 2 rounds. You have a checkmate there. Okay, let's get ready for the second half, round 3. It's all tied up now, folks. So who's going to be the second half team to win it? Or is it going to remain tied and we're going to see overtime, tie break? NACE is Monday, NECC is Friday. Interesting. Yeah, if you guys have an esports facility, I would love to see you guys stream some chess matches. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay. This is called a Trompowski, apparently. Knight here, and the bishop just immediately takes the knight. Interesting. For sure. Let's see how Kyle's doing. We have a 4 knights game here. Bishop developing. Wait, they traded off. What is this? Slav? Okay. Slav defense exchange symmetrical. All right. If black plays this, it's a game of copycat here. Nope. Queen b6, pressure on b2. How do you defend this? h6 disrespect. Yeah, I don't know the Trompowski theory, unfortunately. But yeah, much like in Rocket League, when the two teams just jump for the ball in the beginning, in chess, you have an opening, right? There's some set plays there. And right now, Kyle looks like he is out of prep. So maybe his opponent got to the ball first. Okay, knight here is very intriguing. Going for this fork. I don't think it's going to work out, though. Probably rook c8, and then you got to worry about relocating your knight. This temporarily blocks the queen from attacking the b-pawn, so kind of a creative approach here from Kyle, not going to lie. But I'm not the biggest fan. This knight's going to have to move again, and this pawn is still going to be hanging. So we're going to have to push the pawn or defend the pawn. I mean, honestly, it's not the end of the world to go with the pawn. But Kyle's got his work cut out for him, for sure. All right, let's take a look at Dorsa and Ibrahim here. Both players with 1 point out of 2 so far. Dorsa's already castled. Ibrahim still has to do that, hopefully soon. There's a Fort Knox in the French defense. I did not know that. I don't know much about the French. I don't know if it's worth it, to be honest. All right, no. Okay, this pawn is backwards. What does that mean? It means that there's no pawn supporting it, and it can't push very easily. So I suspect white will try to put as much pressure on this pawn as possible. You can't put the knight in here because you would drop this pawn with tempo. So bishop here to defend. Maybe black can push now. Maybe. If they want some trades. No. Knight here makes a lot of sense. Pressure on the bishop and the pawn. Perhaps trying to get the bishop pair. White could take it, but probably you don't want to give up this bishop. So we see the knight takes the light square bishop. Pawn takes. Now we have a symmetrical structure in the center. Maybe both sides will play to push these backward pawns. Let's take a look at George versus Ram. And what's going on here? This looks annoying, but the king is in the corner, so it's not going to be a pin. What was this? A Sicilian. Okay. Yeah, f5, trying to open things up, trying to undermine black's center. I love black's bishops. These things are a menace towards white's king here. You could play f6, which is interesting. Going for it. So Ram's trying to disrupt black's king's pawn structure, which would really undermine the king's safety. And hopefully for white, they can get an attack going of their own. So really sharp position, to be honest. Neither king looks too safe. Black maybe a slightly ahead in development here. Okay, bishop e5, lending some support. Queen g4 is one idea, perhaps the best idea, threatening checkmate. And if bishop takes, pawn rook takes, taking advantage of this pin. So if I'm Ram, that's what I'm going for. Takes. All right, this alleviates a lot of pressure for black. So that was not the best sequence here, because now queen g4, there's no threat of checkmate. And yes, the bishop is pinned, but the king can step aside. Bishop here is a threat, but this can be defended. Again, king can go to the corner right now and maybe even bring this rook in, and some sort of d4 pawn break at some point is going to be very annoying. We see this exactly from George. So yeah, white definitely had some sort of counterplay to go for there, but I think black is playing this quite well, taking advantage of white's misstep, missing the timely queen g4, a move too late, and now going to use this opened g file for the rook. This is going to be hard for white to defend. I mean, 3 pawns to none in the center. This queen and bishop battery is going to open up any second. We can see rook here. We can see pawn push. d4, probably the more aggressive. Just opening this up immediately, questioning the knight. Well, that would close this bishop, but really we want to just get the bishop out of the way so the rook can come in. Rook coming in first is still good. Bishop here is a threat of a discovery, although there is bishop check, counter check, basically. Okay, this computer loves this idea a lot. But we see the trade, so that forces the rook to pin itself. There's no move for the king, no other block. Black may be going to double on the g file, but this rook is pinned, so that's very annoying. So white's hanging in there. All right, let's check in on Aman versus Ahmad. Okay, threatening the pawn. So king defends this now. Knight in. This is a nice move. Maybe bishop here. Trying to well, that actually opens up the rook, so that doesn't work. What else can you do? Can you push the pawn? You're going to have to give up that pawn. So things are looking up here for Ahmad, who is the lower rated player. The only player without any points yet. This is North Dakota State's 4th board. And actually, I think Ahmad is a sub from the B team. All right, c5 played. Knight takes, rook takes. Ahmad's playing this real quick. That's a free rook. That's a blunder. Ahmad thinks he can get away with this. What are you thinking, Ahmad? What is Ahmad doing? There he goes. He takes. Was that a mouse slip? I couldn't tell you. Queen in, hoping that Ahmad will hang his rook too, but simply rook e1 will get the job done. Also, queen here is a fancy way to trade things off. Yeah, really nicely played here from Ahmad. That's just attacking. So we get both rooks for free. Love that. That's a lot of rooks. Okay, check. The d pawn is falling. The king is falling. The position is falling. Another check. Queen's gonna take this next. I guarantee it. No. All right, sorry guys, I lied. I thought Ahmad and I had this connection, but I guess not. Okay. Maybe now. Nope. Nope. Not yet. When the time is right. There it is. Not with check, unfortunately, but checkmate soon to follow. There's one check, and that's mate. Nicely done, Ahmad. Okay, let's check in on the team captain, Kyle, against Drunken Board, the bottom board, perhaps named for being drunk. Who knows? But okay, point for the fourth board. So North Dakota State taking the first lead of the match, and at a better time than any, as they're getting into the second half of the match. What up, Moo Chunks? Good to see you. Shout out. Okay, I would play knight g5, but all right. Anywho, queen in, just tickling these queenside pawns. Whoa, queen trade forced. So black is the favorite. Up a pawn here, for sure. White's going to try to get the king into the center. Very wise choice to stop the pawns. No, instead going here, offering this trade. This should be a draw with perfect play, but Kyle has less than 10 seconds. Now less than 5 seconds. He pushes his pawn. King can come here. Maybe we put the rook over here, but there's going to be this check. No, rook check. Whoa, doesn't play it. That's annoying. Rook check would have been the move to play, followed by king e4, and one of these pawns would have dropped. Kyle making his life a little bit more difficult than he needs to. Dropping the g pawn, but not taken. And now, again, rook h1. Oh my god, 1 second for Kyle. Kyle's got to pick up the pace here, buddy. What's going on? All right, pressure on the h pawn. Pressure on the a pawn. I love this move here from Kyle. If Drunken Board is not careful, he can go from up a pawn to down a pawn and losing. So he grabs the h pawns first, very, very wisely. I think white's winning. There goes the e pawn. Okay, hold on. No, you can't take because now you're inviting the rook to attack. This is just a pure draw. This is a pure draw, barring disaster. But yeah, trying to force the rooks off, I agree. Let's take a look at Dorsa versus Ibrahim. Both sides less than 10 seconds. That's a check. King steps up. Bishop tucks back. It's knight versus bishop here. The b pawn is hanging, folks. The b pawn is hanging. I would take that. Okay, that move wasn't necessary. That move wasn't necessary either. Queen b7 at any moment. Now black defends it. Oh my god. They're both under 5 seconds. Pressure on the knight. Does the knight move? 2 seconds. 1 second. Knight comes back. What is going on? 1 second. Move. Oh, Dorsa goes down on time. Oh boy. All right. So Kyle and Kumher got a draw. So that's Kyle's first non-win of the match. Point for Ahmad, I think we already gave. And a point for Ibrahim with the dirty flag. This is a great round for North Dakota State. They lose the first round. They tie it back in the second round. And now they're taking a big lead here in round 3. They're only 2 points away from winning. Remember, it's a best of 16. First to 8.5 points wins. North Dakota State's only 2 wins away. And it looks like Ram is actually going to get a point for Arizona here with a little bit of checkmating technique. Very well done. Taking down George, top board, who's struggling from North Dakota State. Yeah, good game here. Let's see how Ram did. So I was liking black, and then I liked white, and especially after the knight comes in. So yeah, definitely poorly played here. Whoa, but this blunders queen g3. That was a big miss from George. Trading off into this winning endgame here up in exchange, sacking the exchange back, knowing that the pawns are going to be good enough. So, well done. Let's give the point to Ram. He's leading the team with 2 points. So it's a 1 point game. 6.5 to 5.5. Let's dive into round 4. All right, so the games are now underway. Here we've got the battle between the top boards, Dorsa and George. Hey, Nemo, how's it going? I have a 20-second delay. Yeah, actually, I'm going to be commentating. This is the end of this match, but I have another match after this. There's one more match. Did you want to hop on a Discord call and commentate? This is Division 12, so we've only been covering D1 on the main channel, but we've also got a couple other divisions to cover. So for the playoffs, I've been streaming the rescheduled matches. So most matches are still on default time, but some of the schools have rescheduled. So there's this one, and there's going to be one more after this. Thank you, Nemo. Thanks for stopping by. This is North Dakota State versus University of Arizona's B team in Division 12. Wow, king to E2, kind of a delayed bomb cloud. After this check, there was no knight to block and didn't want to block with the bishop and blunder the D pawn. So we see the king step up to E2. I don't know if the D pawn was worth it. You got to get back to that. All right. Okay, we could do a match at some point. So appreciate you considering me. I would assume that's what that was. Maybe in an hour or two. I don't know. All right, but yeah, good luck. Good luck in your match. All right. Shout out to Nemo. All right, North Dakota State, they got a 1 point lead. Can they hold on to it? University of Arizona B team, they're trailing by a point. This is the final round of the match. Can they pull off the comeback? Can they keep the playoff dreams alive? This is an elimination match. Loser goes home with nothing. The winner goes to the semifinals next weekend. And along with it, they get some prizes. So let's check on the Division 12 prizes. Division 12, the winner is guaranteed some diamond memberships and a chance to win $100 in the third place match. But if they win in the semifinals, they're guaranteed $150 with a chance of $250 for first. So there's a little bit of money on the line. You could buy some clocks, some chess sets with that. What's up, Ivan? Good to see you. All right. So last round of the match, unless there's overtime, which we could see. Let's see. F4. Are we going to see en passant? Yes, we are. Knight takes. Helps support and defend this. But not a fan of George's king here. So Dorsa definitely favorable position. Bishop back, kind of an interesting move. Trying to open up the queen a little bit, but I don't see how this helps. I would put the rook somewhere and try to get the king back to safety. Yeah, rook f1 is one idea. The king gonna try to pass this pathway. Castling by hand, as some would say. The problem with this, as soon as you get the king to f2, you're lining yourself up with a rook, which will pin your knight once this pawn takes. Speaking of pinning the knight, knight's pinned this. So, okay, actually, you know what? I didn't give Dorsa enough credit. Bishop back to e8, going to h5. I like this move. Hey, John, good to see you, buddy. How's it going? Okay, pawn takes, and now g4. I would continue taking. or pushing or something. But what do I know? Because if you bring the bishop back, you're gonna allow white an opportunity to take again. So if we take, for example, you take here, or even pushing is interesting as well because you take here. But I would take the pawn to take. But all right, bishop comes back. Also, like taking here, not so great because your pawns are kind of bad. But this maybe helps open things up. So knight's attacking here. I would take here. Pawn takes for sure. Would I trade queens? If I'm black, I would try to avoid that, if I'm being honest with you. This king in the middle of the board is not looking safe. Unfortunately, there's no good way to... You could only go to so many places, right? So we would have loved if this pawn had pushed or something, maybe. But all right, trade, queen takes. There's the file for us. Queen probably wants to lift somewhere. Get this rook here. King on e2 is so awkward. Let's look at some of the other games real quick. We've got board twos. Whoa, early resign. So huge point for North Dakota State, I believe. What happened here? Opposite side castles. Oh yeah, no, that's good for Ibrahim there. Wow, mopping up. Holy smokes! All right, that is a huge point. So North Dakota State is within 1 point now of winning the match. Arizona has to win out. Worst case scenario, they have a draw they could allow for overtime, but not looking good for the Wildcats. And Ibrahim, rough start in the round 1, but going perfect from there on out. 3 for 3 in the final 3 rounds. So 3 for 4 in total, and a large contribution to the North Dakota State score. So, all right, again, what is the king doing up here? Drunken board, perhaps with a drunken king wandering around all the way up to g4. So getting kicked back. Bishop maybe wants to kick the king back even further. Both sides with about 2 minutes. Other than a weird king, the position's actually fairly closed and even. I'd say this bishop's not very good. So better bishop for black, better king safety, but better time for a drunken board. Yeah, only 3 games left in this match, so we're getting down to the wire here. Still up in the air. Is Arizona going to get some points, though? Let's check in on Amon versus the North Dakota captain. Ooh, first thought is this looks good for white. Could be aggressive, but this bishop is a defender for sure, and this pawn can always push. Meanwhile, the rooks are menacing for black, and these are 2 connected outside pass pawns. So looking at the material, Kyle's crushing it right now, and this king is actually safer than it looks. So white's going to try to somehow... I mean, it's just very difficult to trade this bishop off. Very difficult. The queen is covering this. Very important. If the queen tries to leave, bishop comes in here, and now you might have some problems because the queen could come in and deliver a checkmate. So, although I will say, okay, move like this. Bishop into e7. There's always queen back to e8. But Amon, ooh, we both missed that, Amon. That would happen to the best of... Okay, the h-pawn's falling too. Kyle's going to crush this, and that's going to be the dub that North Dakota needs to move on to the semifinals. I'm calling it right now. This match is going to be over. So, okay, did not take the h-pawn. Now there's still some back rank issues. Still maybe not so clear. I would have kept the bishop to guard the f-pawn because I want to put the rook somewhere. But Kyle's still going to convert this. He's up 3 pawns, and he's got the better pieces. If he had taken the h-pawn, it would have been no shot for white. But still looking great for the herd. All right, let's look at here. This is what, the board 4s? punch thrown at the bishop. Ooh, hold on. That's a check. King's got to move. Bishop here. So I like the rook check was to defend this. So nice maneuver here from Ahmad, right? This also clears up a square for the bishop, but the bishop wants to hit the rook with the tempo. So rook gets off the way. Yeah, Ahmad is defending this well. And here, maybe a little repetition, little draw offer, perhaps. No, White's going to get that H-pawn into the attack. That is a gambit. For those that are wondering, can Black just take that pawn? The answer is yes. Okay, so the pawn makes it to a light square out of the view of the bishop. That is destined for the dark squares. Ooh, this move, that hangs that. Ouch. Drunken Board has a minute to win it. They find it. This is a big blunder from Ahmad. Kyle gets the win, so the other boards don't even matter. Kyle leading the pack, the herd, I should say. Team captain on board 3 goes 3.5 out of 4, unbeaten, and gets the game winning, clinching, the match clinching game. You know what? I'm speechless by how well this North Dakota team reacted after that round 1 defeat. We looked, this is back to the board ones. Both sides less than 15 seconds. There goes the bishop, right? Was that a bishop? Yeah. Uh-oh. All right, so rook is hit. Rook gives a check. That's going to force a rook off. So Dorsa is up a bishop and should beat George. So George, not the best match that he's ever had. 1 point. But his team captain helped carry him to victory on his back. George might flag here. Going for some checks along the back rank. A nice little flight square has been given. There goes a pawn. But now the bishops and the queen are going to swarm the king. King is forced here. No, could go here too. Or anyways, there's a block, but then there's a not blocking, so just giving that up. Also, there's got to be that was a mate in 1, I think, but doesn't matter. We see resigns. All right, all the games are done. So Dorsa gets a point. Drunken Board gets a point, who led the team from board 4 with 2.5 out of 4, a positive score. But wow. So Kyle's win and Ibrahim's win were the two that were needed. This was a close match. North Dakota State getting the job done in the end, winning 8.5 to 7.5, as close as it gets without overtime. So congratulations to North Dakota State, the Bison, the herd. They're going to move on to semifinals. They're guaranteed at least 4th in their division, which comes along with some Chess.com Diamond memberships, as well as a chance to win some cash. So they're going to be playing next weekend on Saturday in the semifinals, and good luck to them. If you're curious who they're going to play, they're going to move on to play against the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology Trojans. So North Dakota State versus Canada, Alberta, Southern Alberta. I mean, North Dakota, South Alberta. They got to be pretty close, right? That could be some sort of rivalry. But don't go anywhere just yet, folks. We have another match waiting for us. We're going to be watching Texas A&M take on India Institute of Technology. Like, I don't know. We're going to watch another match, another quarterfinal match. Let me see. Who's it going to be. I don't even know what division it is. I have to take a quick break to reset the scoreboard, but I'll be right back. What team is this? Ah, I found it. This is Division 7. Texas A&M's B team versus India Institute of Technology Kanpur A team. All right. I'll take a quick break and I'll be right back. See you soon. All right, folks. I have actually received word that they are postponing the match for an hour. So I'll be back in an hour. Thanks for watching. I'll be back. So yeah, thanks everyone. Stick around for the raid. Yeah, I'll see y'all later. Bye.